so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare.
It's being called the biggest NFL protest staged by players. It's taking the sports world by storm. I'm Faiza Amin inside Shark Club Toronto. This comes after controversial comments were made by U.S. President Donald Trump. On the busiest day for the NFL, all eyes were on how players observed the American national anthem. It is reported that over 100 of them participated in the protest that also saw at least 3 owners joining in. Players from the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Baltimore Ravens kneeling and locked in arms ahead of their game earlier this morning in London, England. The Pittsburgh Steelers remained in the locker rooms before they faced off against the Chicago Bears, a response to this remark made by the U.S. president.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
That comment aimed at the man who started the Take a Knee campaign, Colin Kaepernick, who is now a free agent, took a knee at games to protest racial injustice and police brutality in the U.S. He was, for the most part, a lone soldier until the president's comment, says this political strategist.
Now we're seeing this spread across the NFL because they're saying you can't tell us what to do, Mr. President. We don't accept this. I'm surprised he poured gasoline on the fire Saturday morning with tweets. Not even a little bit.
How do you think it's going to kind of spill over in the sports and political realm here?
People will be talking about it on water coolers, right? They're going, what do my sports teams think? What do Canadian teams think? So I think there's going to be questions put to Canadian athletes.
Last October, the Toronto Raptors locked arms in solidarity during the playing of both the Canadian and U.S. national anthems prior to a preseason game. But today, DeMar DeRozan stayed mum at a youth basketball camp he was hosting inside York University. While Toronto Raptor Kyle Lowry subtly retweeted Chris Paul's criticism of the president's comments. Argos player Mitch White doing the same, with a retweet reading, "No longer can you sit on the sidelines."
As a player, I think it's about how do you support your colleagues. I think this is a time where actually political protest in sport is much more acceptable than it normally would be, just because of So if I were them, I'd make their voices heard. I think they would be applauded for it. But I do understand that a lot of players want to keep politics out of it and just do their job.
Is this a battle for athletes in Canada to fight? Does it matter if they take part in this movement?
I think it's every little bit helps, right? So if you see, it's one thing for Colin Kaepernick to take a knee. It's a whole other thing for the owner, like an owner, to kind of step up this morning, lock arms with his players at 9:30 and see that spiral across the league. So I think every more person that steps up and says this is not okay, it becomes a bit of an avalanche.
And during Sunday Night Football, the NFL will be running its 1-minute unity ad that was originally aired and produced for the Super Bowl earlier this year. The message behind the commercial is bringing people together. Inside Shark Club Toronto, I'm Faiza Amin for City News.